Hi, Shepherd Youth, and welcome once again to another Worship Wednesday. We're so glad to have you with us. If you can't tell, we have a guest with us, the amazing Christine Miller. Cue the clap here.
Or also known by my spiritual name, Leah Rebecca Ruth
Yeah.
Rachel.
Mm-hmm. What you guys don't know about Christine is she's one of the kindest, most loyal, most hilarious human beings on the planet. She is one of the main worship leaders here at Shepherd Church. And your parents know her very well. You know her when we have worship together weekends, but I thought it would be great to bring her here with us so you can get to know her more, particularly for this special worship fails.
Woo!
Worship fails video.
My spiritual gift.
Honestly, they don't even know. So we posted a worship fails video, Shepherd Youth. You know this. It has one of the most views on our channel. I think it's because you like to see me in pain and uncomfortable. And so love that for me. Thanks a lot,
Worship
guys.
fails are awesome, though. They really are.
They really bring people together.
They really do.
Remind us that we're all the same.
Yes. They really bring us to our knees, though, don't they?
They do. Lord. So, Christine, I want to thank you for being willing to take this journey. I understand that it can be hard to relive these moments.
Well, yes. Actually, when you asked me, and when anyone asks me my most embarrassing moments, at first my mind is blank because I think I've just blocked them all from my mind, honestly.
And then they start slowly coming back in
a
flood. It's like the floodgates open, and then, oh boy.
Yeah, it's like a bad flashback all of a sudden.
Okay, well, do you have a few or one that you would love to share with us?
Okay, well, out of the hundreds that have happened to me over the course of my lifetime, not just in worship, but probably the worst one to date, and I shared this with Jeff Cravens when I did living room worship, and actually you were co-leading with me this weekend. And what's hilarious about both of us, though, is neither of us knew it had happened. Until I got home later and someone sent me a video, bless their hearts, Suzanne Waldman.
Oh my word.
Anyways, so I was singing, I think it was, what was the name of the song?
Surrounded.
Fight My Battles.
Surrounded.
Surrounded.
By Upper Room Music, yes.
It's funny how you remember this with specific detail. Okay, so we were singing, and it was just such honestly, it was such an amazing time of worship.
It was.
And, something about the co-lead is just awesome too, because you're both sort of bearing the burden, not the burden, but the time, you're both sort of lifting each other up, and it's just a great time. So great time of worship. We ended the song, and for those of you who know me or have ever been to a shepherd service, I kind of wear my heart on my sleeve when it comes to worship, and I get emotional, and
we love that about you.
I try to sort of, swallow it, but see, this is what happens when I sort of try to swallow it and just talk normal. This is what happens. So I was trying to exhort and encourage, and I got choked up, and really fervently I said, Lord, just fight my battles. But the word fight got choked up in my throat, and what came out was basically sounded like I said the worst curse word you could ever say, and it was super loud in your face. And I didn't even notice, though. I didn't even notice, and you didn't even notice.
I didn't notice because I think with in-ears, like that's what's in our ears so that we can hear the music and everyone. I heard fight. I heard exactly what you were trying to say.
I'm thinking, okay, frog in my throat, let's clear my throat. So anyway, the worship service continued. I got home, and I was just sort of on this high of like, oh, that was such an awesome service, Lord. Thank you. And that's when, God goes, well. And so I get this video from Suzanne, and she's like, OMG, with like the embarrass emoji. And she's like, did you mean this? You know, what happened? And I saw the
my
video
word.
and I was mortified, and it almost brought tears to my eyes because
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed.
Of course.
I know. And then I got other comments from my friends were like, wow, way to keep it real. And I'm like, oh, I'm so fired. So fired.
And yet you weren't fired.
Oh,
And I think the
praise
best
the
part
Lord.
of it is, for the record, she said, fight my battles. That is literally what she said. But it got caught in her throat. So when the mic picked up, it didn't quite sound like that. But she said, fight my
Yes.
battles. The best part was Walter, I guess, like looked up like,
Well, and I wish I could have, I mean, I guess half of the team kind of heard it and half
Yeah.
of the team, you know, didn't. So I don't know. That was definitely number one on my list because when I found out, I was just so mortified that I would ever, no, not on any,
even sound like that, right?
no, never in a million years would I even think to say something like that in church. You know, it's like, oh my goodness. So anyway.
But what I love is you like, even like the next day, you went through it. You know, you went through those like emotions.
Right.
But the next day, you came back and you were just laughing about it.
Right.
Because
That was
there's
Saturday
nothing you
night.
can
That's
do. Right. So we came
Yeah.
back Sunday, we were laughing about it, and then we were on stage, and I specifically remember we're doing that same intro the next day, and she looks at me and she says, and you were saying to everyone, and you know what, I prayed to God and I said, and she looked at me, she went, fight my battles.
Fight.
With like a
hard
little
T.
sly, like,
I was like, no, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this because this is what I want to say, you know? So,
and I was like, don't laugh.
Oh, praises. Okay, so that's probably the top of the list as far as most recent and just mortifying. But then there's been your basic embarrassing worship moments where it wasn't necessarily, I mean, like we've all forgotten the words. So then there was other ones, like not really the worship part of it, but like getting backstage and having Casey tell me that I had a booger in my nose. So, you know, there's that, and you're thinking HD, you're thinking close-ups. The media loves to do those close-up face shots. So nothing I can do about that one. And then another one was when I realized that my fly had been down for pretty much all 5 services. So
all 5.
I don't think I even really noticed it until I was sort of like packing up to go. So, you know, I just have to, I mean, at some point in your life when stuff like that happens, and it's taken me a while to get here, but you just kind of have to own it. Like you said, you have to laugh. If you don't laugh, you're dead.
Honestly, I think learning to laugh at yourself is one of the greatest things you can do in life, because it is a huge character trait too. It's not just like learn to laugh at yourself because you're going to fail. It's like, it's also being humble. Like there's like a humanity in being like, oh man.
And that's the thing. And I think if you do that, I mean, it's still super embarrassing. Right. But I think you're giving other people license to sort of laugh along with you. And, you know, if they were laughing at you, then they can be like, oh, yeah, I mean, I'm laughing with you. So, yeah, I mean, I think a sense of humor is key for sure. Yes. And, you know, not to over spiritualize it, but I honestly do thank God for laughter every day, because it truly is the best medicine. Adri.
It is, and you would know that because
for real though,
I've said it before. She's one of the funniest humans that I know. Like my stomach will hurt and I will cry. When we get together, what you guys don't know is in the green room, we are making videos on videos of us being ridiculous. We think that we're on SNL. All of a sudden we get in the green room and we're like, okay, you go over there.
I think I actually got laryngitis that one weekend when we were doing Snapchat video. I think I got laryngitis from laughing so hard.
Oh my word.
And woke up the next morning. I mean, but it was worth it. It was so worth it. I love you.
Worth it. Oh, I love you too. Thank you so much. Do you have any, I mean, you've already encouraged the students, but anything extra to encourage them? Those who want to be leaders in the church, maybe, yes, anything for them?
Well, you know, Whereas worship fails might be my spiritual gift, writing sermons and speaking sermons is not really my spiritual gift. But if I had to just say anything, I would say, I think when we look at others and we look at each other, there's this tendency to sort of assume, you know, what that person's about, or, you know, there's misconceptions about what people are about. And, you know, probably not a lot of people would know that I struggle with feelings of inadequacy. Okay, please help me with this word.
Inadequacy.
I
got you. Partnership.
I struggle with feelings of that a lot. And even in my older age, I still have to give that to the Lord. And it's tough sometimes because, you know, as you go through life, there will always be a better speaker. There will always be a better singer. There will always be someone who in your eyes is more spiritual or has the 2-hour quiet time, and you're kind of barely fitting in the 15-minute quiet time in the morning, you know?
Yeah.
And so there have been times when I have been heading up to church, and I literally was like, Lord, I don't have anything to give. I really don't, Lord. I don't even feel spiritual today, Lord. I don't feel like I have anything to say between songs. I don't feel like my voice is very good, you know, and these, of course, are all lies of the enemy, because all he wants to do is defeat us and destroy us and kill us and depress us. And we have to constantly be talking to God, even if we can't sit and have a 2-hour quiet time. I think as long as we're constantly in communication with our best friend and our champion, Jesus, who's always in our corner, you know, I would get to church feeling like that and then step on stage still feeling like that. But every single time, because I had offered that up to the Lord, which I consider to be a sacrifice, because you're sacrificing, you're not feeling like doing something, so it's a struggle for you. You're praising regardless. The Holy Spirit would show up every single time.
Yes.
And just to share a little passage of scripture that I love, and I love this because it just talks about how God feels about us. But Psalm 4:3, know, in all caps, I wrote that in all caps, know that the Lord has set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will hear when I call to him. So rather than try to be perfect, just be real with God. Tell him what you're struggling with. Tell him, these are my inadequacies. This is how I feel. I'm not good in this area. Lord, help me to see myself like you see me, because he looks upon us like, oh, this is my creation. Look what I made. This is like so awesome. And I think if I would remember that more and be real with God of how I'm feeling, then partnering with him in that way, it's the perfect storm in a good way, because then it's really not about us. Then he shows up and all the glory goes to him. So he can use us regardless of how we feel or regardless of our talents or whatever it is. I'm kind of rambling now, which happens a lot, but that's what I was kind of thinking about today. And just wanted to be real and say that, I feel about myself a lot. I mean, I think a lot of us do, you know, and so we're all in this together.
We're all in this together.
I'm not talking about COVID right now. I'm talking about as Christians and as brothers and sisters, friends, keeping each other laughing and encouraged. And
wow. So. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That honestly, so good. And students, I hope that you laughed. I hope that you were blessed. And I hope that you learned something new, students.
Yes, students.
Shepherd Youth, we love you. Christine, thank you for joining us. And we will see you next Wednesday. Bye, Shepherd Youth.
Love you, Shepherd Youth. Love you, Adri. Thanks, guys. Bye.